Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome
oh.
to the Roundtable Oddcast, where today we are joined by my good friends Doom and Chrono. Unfortunately, Discord decided to fuck up like its video orientation, so now I'm down here. I'm the bottom bitch, but you best believe I'm the power bottom. So
it's 2020. People could change their orientation. It don't matter.
Does that make Twitch bi-curious now? Is that what's going on?
I don't know,
or is it
but
straight up, fluid.
What are we drinking today, gentlemen?
As of right now,
I've got cold tea now because I'm pretty sure.
Okay, cold tea, not sponsored. Red Bull, not sponsored.
Let me go get a Coke.
Coca-Cola, not sponsored. Not yet.
Coca-Cola and Jack.
But now Coke seems like pretty lame by itself, so of course we got to bust out a little bit of Jack, and then Jack's brother, Jack. Please, somebody fucking sponsor us. Anybody? Zaxby's, Jack.
See, the other one was like Jack, and then that one was Jack Black.
You calling Jack Black fat? You know what else is about to be smooth? Some whiskey.
Jack Black is pleasantly plump, and he's a national treasure.
Nick
He's
Cage?
a fluffy boy, and I appreciate him. Nick Cage is actually a national treasure. That bloke, man, he's
hold on. You just set himself up. He's going to try to steal himself now. He's going to try and steal himself. You just called him a national treasure. He's going to try and steal himself.
He's batshit insane enough that he probably would.
I want to see that movie now. I want to see Nicolas Cage trying to
You just see him like collapse inside of himself.
It's like a whole search for this thing, and then they realize that the thing all along was him, and it's some sort of inner search piece, and then he just implodes.
The real national treasure is love.
That's exactly how national treasure would be now. It's like, no, we're not stealing the Declaration of Independence.
Yo, why can't I open a fucking bottle of liquor?
Fucking amateur!
I cut my nails this morning. I got nothing left.
You act like you've never drank before.
I know.
Even I'm putting you to shame. Mr. 6 beers and I'm done.
I know. He's putting me to shame. What's that upload schedule like, Chrono?
Oh.
You're not supposed to...
Hey, Freak, what's that back catalog looking like?
Making progress, because we're playing your favorite game, sir.
Yeah, we are, actually.
Yeah,
you are. I give you credit on that.
Silent Hill 2. I was supposed to stop by that stream, and I'm sorry that I didn't. I don't even remember what happened.
Yeah, you were like, keen as, I'll be there. And I was like, you better. And you're like, I'll be there. And then you weren't there. And then you know what we did? We did it again last night. And you still... Every Friday I stream Silent Hill, dude. It's Freaky Friday. Like when we play Dead by Daylight, we play a horror game too. Silent Hill.
Oh yeah, yesterday's Saturday for me. So yeah, of course it would be.
Okay, you gotta remember that you live in the wrong time zone and the wrong part of the world. There's only one correct time, and that is the time that we live in.
But how is it affecting you? Is it terrifying to you?
I will be the first to say that Silent Hill 2 has not aged well.
Oh, it has not. No, not at all. But it's still very scary to me.
The sound design is incredible. It's terrifying. Yes. Like, I'll just be walking and you just hear, like, one bass note, ominously, for 25 minutes. And I'm like, can you please stop? Like, that one note is just fucking with me.
There's that one room in that first set of apartments that you go into. And I think it's the one that looks fine, but the music goes dum, dum, dum. Yeah.
No, the apartment complex has fucked me up because also a huge issue that I have with Silent Hill 2 right now is just brightness. I have it maxed out and I can't see shit. It is so dark. And I'm like, yo, I like dark horror games. I understand why we want it to be dark, but literally I can't tell where I am with the flashlight on and my brightness maxed out. So it kind of sucks. But, like, the first time I came across Pyramid Head when he's on the other side of the bars and, like, just the room starts glowing red, I was like, nope. No.
Nope.
No.
So, with Silent Hill, though, like, I mean, I know you're asking if he's scared or anything, but I think it's more of a psychological thriller as well, just because of how it starts unraveling.
I know there's multiple endings.
Yeah, there is. One of the best ones is great, but I'm not telling you, but it's really good.
And so I'm kind of excited. I inadvertently did two things for one ending, so I guess I'm going to try to get that one. Like, I'm not looking up guides, but there were two parts where I was stuck at, so I looked up, like, the item itself. I was like, why did I just read this diary? Like, what is it doing for me? And they're like, oh, nothing. But if you read that diary, that's one of the steps to get the in water ending. And I was like, oh. okay, cool. And I was like, I can't figure out what the fuck to do with this knife that Angela gave me. And they're like, it's part of the in water ending. And I was like, oh, so I can't, use it to shimmy open a door or stab Pyramid Head in the dick. No, it's just you examine it and that's it. But the controls are clunky as shit. I changed them to the Resident Evil tank controls so that it's easier to navigate.
No.
The standard Silent Hill 2 controls fucking suck. Like, I'm enjoying it more on Resident Evil now.
There's a reason for that, though.
Yeah, like with the camera angles and the way that they shift and stuff, doing it in Resident Evil style would fuck me over.
I was getting fucked over regardless. I have an issue with the way they display your health. Like, I'm like, okay, I see that it's red, but I can't really tell how red. Okay, let's use a first aid kit. Okay, it's still red. Am I supposed... What?
Basically, it's three,
okay.
I think it's 3 hits per each color. So 3 hits green, 3 hits yellow, 3 hits red, and then you're dead.
Oh, well. I have died a few times. I have, like, fought Pyramid Head, because we are at the point now, I'm in the hospital.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we cleared out the apartments, and, like, I knew Silent Hill was going to be a psychological game going in, and I'm starting to see a lot more of it due to the fact that I'm pretty sure I'm in, like, a spirit world, or the Upside Down, or something, because I am very meticulous with my map stuff, where I'm like, okay, I have to check every door, even if it's locked, that way I can scribble it out on my map. And then I fought, Salty Lips, Flesh Lips, whatever, and then I went into the garden, and now my map's clear. And, like, the save points moved around, rooms that were locked are unlocked, and I was like, I don't think I'm in the same hospital anymore.
Has it happened? Has the siren gone off?
There was a siren that went off when I was fighting Pyramid Head. He went downstairs and drained the basement, and I could get out of the building. And, like, right now, I'm escorting Maria. It's kind of hot. But, no, like, I'm enjoying it.
I want to say so much about what he just said right there.
Yeah,
let me play it.
Yeah, not gonna say a word because I kid you not, like, just everything you're saying, like, it's not even a part of the game, but, like, it is a part of the game indirectly because of what you said.
Yeah, no, I'm excited to see it, and unfortunately, I had what I thought was the ending spoiled for me. Thanks, Watch Mojo.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm actually grateful that there's multiple endings. I don't really know exactly where I'm headed, what I'm doing.
Best way to play it.
And I'm just I've avoided a lot of things. Watch Mojo also was like, one of the scariest times you ever meet Pyramid Head is the first time when he's fucking the mannequins and you hide in the closet. And I was like, oh, great, spoilers. No, that happens like 20 minutes into the game. And I was like, oh, cool.
It is, yeah. And when it does happen, it's like, oh god, fuck off. No, please.
I mean, the second time I meet him, he's fucking again. I'm like, damn, dude, you got some stamina.
All I'm saying is pay attention every time you see Pyramid Head. Just pay attention.
Yeah.
That's all.
Look at what he does. Look at how he acts.
Exactly. And everything, no matter which ending you get, and all that kind of stuff, because it all somewhat leads to the same point, just in different fucking ways, except for one ending in particular, where it's just kind of like, how the fuck did that happen?
Well, I've met Pyramid Head
the exact one.
3 times now. I met him in the apartment twice. Once in the closet, once in the boss battle, and then I've already met him in the hospital. He threw me off the roof.
Good job. Pyramid Head, not you.
But no, I'm enjoying it. It does aggravate me just because it hasn't aged well, and I'm not one of those people like, oh, graphics make a game. Like, Minecraft is a great game. Some like retro 16-bit games are great. Graphics don't make a game, but the brightness settings really piss me off, the controls and everything. Sound design's phenomenal. I'm enjoying the story, or lack of at this moment, because we still really don't know. And I'm really excited to play more of it on Friday. Like, I'm really enjoying it. I'm excited to play 3. I also have Homecoming, and then I'll probably hook up my PS3, get the original one, and Downpour as well.
Because I'll tell you, the original one to me, it's sort of divisive, but to me, Silent Hill 1 is better than Silent Hill 2, because Silent Hill 2 is more iconic. But based on a standpoint of how it's aged, how it plays, how it looks, how the atmosphere is, the PS1 style of Silent Hill 1 is just so much creepier. Even though there isn't the iconic, nurse or the Pyramid Head, of course, it is very much just sort of standard characters. There's just something so creepy. Like, the first time you go to the school in Silent Hill 1, dreadly terrifying. And then when it goes to the what's it called? Like the bad school or the old school or something like that. It's when it
I know what
does
you're
the
talking about,
siren. Yeah. Oh my god, I paused the game and left. I was like, I don't know. I just feel awful. I don't know what it is about Silent Hill 1.
Just piggybacking off the Silent Hill 1 aspect of it. It's funny because when it came out on the PlayStation 1, the original PlayStation,
Mhm.
and I don't know if anyone really notices this, but the fog and the ash that's falling is a lot more thick and dense in the first game as opposed to the second game.
It's thick as shit. Number 2 also.
What I'm saying is the first game is so much worse in that aspect.
It's just because rendering distance and loads and everything, like they use it to counter that.
Exactly, and that was the awesome part about it is they use that as a trick to basically pack the game in full of content as much as they could while still having that creep factor, and they just said, well, screw it. The render distance isn't going to be that far, but you don't need to see that far anyway. It needs to be right here in front of you.
I'm very excited to continue through Silent Hill. I'm also excited because I've never played 1, 2, 3, or 4 of Resident Evil.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to giving those a shot. I've got Amnesia: The Dark Descent, which I've heard so many things about. I still haven't played Outlast 2, which I heard is not as good as number 1, but I fucking loved Outlast, so I do want to give 2 a shot.
I started playing 2 now. I didn't beat 1 all the way through. It just got lost in between. I do have intentions of going back and playing it. 2, however, the intro and everything like leading up to it grabbed me a lot more than 1 initially did. I don't know, I guess the setting meant more to me, but it got very played out.
Rono, what are you trying to say?
I've got to duck out because I've been asked to do shit, so I'll have to just jump out for about 5 minutes. They've gone completely silent.
When's that upload coming out?
I am mad. I'm
sorry.
Is it Harley?
It's not. It's not Harley. It's
literally.
I had to ask him to do it.
You're pixelated as shit on my screen, Chrono. I can't see anything. You look like a 1970s video game right now with a face. But fine, go do your thing, and Doom and I'll just keep talking. I'm gonna try this Jack Apple right now.
I'm gonna put Sonic in my chair.
Great. He's probably more useful and entertaining than you.
I mean,
Blast is fucking rude, right?
Oh shit, he has a headset on still. Whoops.
Frick. There we go.
I love you.
All right. Love you. Be back in like 5.
Yeah, that's more like 20.
Okay, so we lost Chrono midway through podcast. Very interesting. All right, let's see how this Jack Apple is. Crown Apple's better.
Told you that. Still good, don't get me wrong, but I told you that.
Oh, I know. I got it because Jack Daniels is like nostalgia for me, childhood memories, like brand loyalty. Like when you get caught smoking a pack of cigarettes, your dad's like, "I'm gonna teach you fucking loyalty." So I still always get Jack, even though like I prefer Knob Creek, but that's also like this bottle of Jack was $60 because it's the big ass gargantuan bottle. Like a bottle of Knob Creek like this big was like $60, and I was like, you know what? Sometimes it's just quantity over quality. Well,
yeah, but Jack is Jack though, regardless. So.
Exactly, which is why I'm busting out the regular Jack right now.
But so Silent Hill 2, as of right now, you say you're still excited to play it.
Mm-hmm.
So here's my thing.
Yeah.
If you hook up your PS3, do you know if they have the original Silent Hill on the PlayStation Store to pick it up or no?
Silent Hill 1 is on the PlayStation Store, but not on the PS4, which is why I have to do it with PS3.
I would recommend doing that and downloading it just to see what Chrono and me were talking about pertaining to the creep factor. Now, the thing is, Silent Hill 2, like he said, is the more revered game because it was game that brought them attention. I think it has a lot more iconic characters, i.e., Pyramid Head, the nurses, all that kind of stuff. But like I said, it is my favorite game. But at the same time, 1 is fucking amazing and stands out amidst everything else. Like, I think I'm probably gonna go back on something I said before, and I think I said 2 is my favorite, and then 1 and 3 are kind of right next to each other. The more and more I've been kind of just like reviewing it, I guess you would say, I prefer 1 more than 3.
Whoa, I made that strong as fuck.
You'd be alright.
Oh, that's fine. I plan on having a couple more, so. No, I'm very, very. This is probably just going to turn into a horror game episode of the podcast.
I can
We're
tell.
already 20 minutes in, so.
But
No, I'm stoked to finish it. Everybody says I should play 1 and then 3, and I'll do my best to make that happen. But I already own 3 and Homecoming, and just because of Corona right now, I'm not spending too much. So I've got to see how much 1 is on the PlayStation Store. Probably like $10 or some shit. But it's gonna take me a while to get through it, anyways, because I only play it every Friday for 3 hours for the streams. Yeah. But there is an achievement to beat Silent Hill 2 in under 3 hours, so maybe I'm closer to the end than I think. They can only put so much in a game from 2003. And
the thing with Silent Hill, you got to remember, there's several endings. It's just like Resident Evil, Resident Evil 2. They wanted you to go back and play that game several times to get different endings, or to do different playthroughs, not different endings. Excuse me, different playthroughs. That's why you had the Jill and the Leon. You know what I'm saying? So
I met somebody during Silent Hill's stream who says that Silent Hill 2 is his favorite horror game, and Resident Evil 4 is after that, which tends to be the general consensus among these games. You know. So I asked him the question that I ask all Resident Evil fans. What do you think of 5?
Oh God, here it is.
And he's played 1, 2, 3, 4. He loves all of them and everything. Fucking loved 5. He thought 5 was fantastic. He was like, that was the pinnacle of a perfect co-op experience.
But here's why, though, and I can tell you exactly why he liked. All right, so if he liked 4 that much, 5 was not that far of a departure from 4. The only difference is really, let's think about it. It still had that third-person over-the-shoulder camera view. They introduced co-op into it, which, honestly, the co-op aspect of it, if you did have people to play with, it changes the game. If you're playing by yourself and you let the AI play a Sheva, God, it's like kneecapping yourself. It's fucking
Never
horrible.
played it solo. Literally always just played it with my brother.
And that's probably why you liked it so much, and I can understand that. But if you grew up with the first Resident Evil, the second, Nemesis, Veronica, Code Veronica X.
I was wondering what we were talking about.
We're still talking about horror games.
Yes, now I get what it is. Yeah, fuck Resident Evil 5.
So, but
Fuck
here's
you.
the thing, though. Hold on. I actually have a point to all this. I can understand why his favorite game would have been 5, because 5 is really not all that different than 4. The reason why 4 was so revolutionary for that series is because it did something completely new, but it kept the horror aspect. Only thing it did different is it had a lot more action into it that you never got in other Resident Evils. The other Resident Evils, it was more like, oh shit, what the fuck's about to come out of this room? If I go in this room, do I have enough ammo to take care of this? Or do I have enough space to zigzag around these zombies and get away from the threat? Resident Evil 4 is when it started to, oh, well, I've got this handgun here with a laser pointer, and I'm a trained fucking, I forgot what he was at that time. The president's guard's daughter, whatever, fucking.
Yeah, it was.
I'm here, and pop, 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 and it took the horror out of it. It became more action oriented. So I liked 4 a lot. Don't get me wrong. For what 4 was, to me, if you take 5 and compare it to 4, they're almost exactly the same gameplay wise, except graphics are updated. The story's slightly different, and Chris biceps.
And Sheva loves to use your healing items when you don't fucking need them.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yes. And then Chris's biceps were fucking directly injected with human growth.
When he
punching
punches
rocks.
the rock.
Yeah. punching rocks is, that's how he gets his rocks off, if you know what I'm saying.
It's brilliant.
I will be
Well,
the
so I
first
guess
to say though, fuck Resident Evil 6.
Oh, that's
yeah.
a
Oh no,
consensus.
fuck Resident Evil 6. That's
Yeah.
yeah.
I never
But
even finished it.
6
I
is
couldn't-
stuck at AIDS-infested cock. No offense to AIDS victims out there. I don't want you to play Resident Evil 6 at all. Just saying.
Because like I couldn't get into Resident Evil 4 because funnily enough, my first Resident Evil game was Resident Evil 5, and I played it, and I nearly finished it. I was just like, because I didn't, I had no pre-context to a Resident Evil game. I knew that there were zombie horror games, and I was playing it. And I'm like, yeah, this is pretty much a zombie horror game. That was when I was like 10 years old or something, and then I never played any other sort of Resident Evil game after that until I got my hands on Resident Evil 4, and I was like, okay, this is sort of the same as Resident Evil 5, just a bit earlier, it's a bit better, a little bit more scarier, honestly, a little more claustrophobic. And then I didn't finish Resident Evil 4, and then I started playing Resident Evil 1, the remake, the HD
I can understand why
remake.
you didn't finish 4 because god damn that game was fucking long and you got fatigued as fuck playing that game. That game was like some of the portions of it were just like dragging your balls through a field of broken glass, man. Like you're like, okay, I get it. Let's fucking go. And that little shit Salazar. Ugh, God, the most
hate him.
annoying character. They're talking about remastering Resident Evil 4, and motherfucker,
yeah.
that shithead Salazar is in it. I'm gonna fucking go up to the guys at Capcom and punch him right in the fucking dick. Just straight shot, pow, right in the pecker.
I wanna actually talk about Resident Evil 2 remake versus the Resident Evil 3 remake.
I haven't played any of the Resident Evil remakes.
Okay,
Oh, you
well, we
do?
got this. Yeah, I played both of them. I beat both of them.
Okay, so to me, like I didn't actually I played a lot of the Resident Evil 3 remake, but I didn't finish it.
I did.
Not because I
Jeremy
it got
beat it
boring
in
or
like an
anything.
hour and 15 minutes.
Fuck Jeremy.
Yeah, it's a really quick game, but I didn't finish it because it was like it just made me want to go back and play Resident Evil 2 remake.
Yeah.
Because there was just so much about the Resident Evil 2 remake that was so much better. And I get that they were going for a more action style with Resident Evil 3 because that's exactly what happened back in the old days. Resident Evil 2 was a more survival horror. Resident Evil 3 sort of upped up the action a bit, with Nemesis and shit running around.
Wasn't
But
2
from,
the
like,
one
the
with
bits-
Mr. X in it?
Yeah, Mr.
Yeah.
X, Tyrant. And, going back and playing the original Resident Evil 3, I was like, this is fucking terrifying. I don't like it when Nemesis chases me. I feel very anxious. And then in this one, I was like, okay, I'm gonna throw a couple grenades your way, and then just run away, and we'll be good, bro. And I don't know. And also the physics from the zombies are just so shit in Resident Evil 3. Like their body parts don't fall off. Like when like in Resident Evil 2, you'd shoot someone's arm and then you just see it like droop off their body part and go, hit the ground. But in this one, they'll just pop back. They'll fall over. Their arm will maybe explode if you're lucky. And like I get it, there's a higher volume of zombies, so they couldn't go all out, and they had basically a year cycle to get it done. But like I don't know, I love the story, I love the characters, I love the redo of the characters. They're a little bit more realistic now. I love Carlos, he's cool.
Yeah, Oliveira is awesome in this one.
But the point was when you go back through the police department, and I was just there like, oh, I see. I see where shit's about to happen. It was really cool, but then I was like, but I kind of preferred it in Resident Evil 2. I don't know, man. I just, yeah.
So,
but it was still good. It was still enjoyable. I did.
All right, so my take on it. Now, here's my deal with it. I think out of the Resident Evil games, if we're going by best Resident Evil games, I think I kind of lean more towards 2, closely to 3, in that range. Like, it's kind of toss up depending on what you're feeling.
Now, real
on that
quick,
day.
before you continue on that, factor in, because a lot of people do like 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then they count like 5, 6, and 7 as its own separate entities because it's been so long.
They are.
But factor in 7 with how critically acclaimed it was, and when it went back to survival horror. Where would you put 7 in that lineup?
I would still put 7 probably at the tail end, just because. All right, when you think of Resident Evils, the first ones you think of is 1, 2, 3, and 4. 7's there. To me, 7 is in the same vein as Code Veronica X, which if any big fans of Resident Evil know that's actually the true sequel to Resident Evil 2.
Yeah.
That's actually the true sequel, is Code Veronica X, and then Nemesis was supposed to be an offshoot, but they shoehorned that in. PlayStation, Nintendo deal, or Sega deal, some bullshit. You guys can look that up. But it's good. It's different. It did something different, especially with the VR, which you said earlier that you're going to play it, and you're going to specifically play it for the VR,
Yep.
which I highly recommend. You
I don't have a
actually
VR
gonna do that
headset
one.
yet, but that is my plan. Like, I don't want to play 7 until I have a VR headset.
Dude,
I was gonna do it. I suck at Resident Evil 7 in VR, but if you're gonna do that, I can leave it untouched.
Well, I want to do something like maybe bring Doom up for the weekend to do it, because Wolf pitched this idea to me a long time ago that I fell in love with and really wanted to do. And sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, Doom. We'll get back to what you were saying. With Resident Evil 7 VR, we would do like a co-op Let's Play type thing, where I'd be in VR, but like Doom would be controlling the character, like he could see it on the screen. So that way, when I'm turning into a little bitch, and I'm like, no, I don't want to go in there, Doom's like, fuck you, we're going in. And I'll be like, no, God, please, no. So I really want to do something like that.
dude, I'd be totally
that'd be
down for that.
fun.
That'd be awesome.
Because I would still be the one in control, obviously, of looking. So he would only be able to, like, pull the trigger on the gun or, you know, go into the room. And I would have to be in control of, like, freaking the fuck out. But I think that'd be a really fun idea.
And he's playing the game.
Yeah.
It's gonna be disorienting for the both of you, because when you move your head, the
I'm gonna
TV
see the
screen's gonna go
screen.
fucking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be like, why am I not going this fucking... Go that way!
But
Yeah.
so
Like,
back to what I was saying though, with when it came to 2 and 3 with the remakes, I saw a lot of backlash for the Resident Evil 3 remake.
it was
I think
it
a
was
lot-
it was not fair. It wasn't fair
Yeah.
criticism.
It's
because
exactly
of the,
what I was going to say. Yeah.
Yeah, like again, like I said, like I didn't like it as much as 2, but it was still a brilliant game. It looked nice, it played well. You know, the dodge mechanic was really well refined, but it just didn't hit me as well as Resident Evil 2. But a lot of people like it's the worst game. Fucking, you know, it's like half the style of the original. It's not really that good. You know, they screwed things up. Nemesis isn't scary anymore. And I gotta say, and I do really like Nemesis's new design. His fucking big teeth. That's
Ugh.
just
See, that's one of my pet peeves. I love the old Nemesis look so much more than the new one. Don't get me wrong, I like the new one. It's good. It's a new take on it. I get it. When he starts transforming, I like that more, but I like his base
Yeah.
model more for the old school.
So,
But-
since both of you have played it, as somebody who's never played Resident Evil 1, 2, or 3, either versions, would you say, hey, freak, go play the original, then play the remastered, then play the original, then play the remastered, or just fuck it, jump into the remasters?
I played Resident Evil 2 Remaster first, and then I went back to go play Resident Evil 2 the original, and I think, to me, I made a mistake, because playing the original, it was like, okay, this is cool, but it feels very dated, and because the last thing I played
Absolutely.
was, you know, but if you play Resident, because I started playing Resident Evil 3 first, before playing the remaster, obviously, and I just got a better experience out of it, because again, my favorite Resident Evil game is Resident Evil HD Remaster for the GameCube.
Did you guys ever
That's my
play
favorite.
Revelations or Revelations 2?
Revelations was okay. I played it on the 3DS when it came out, so fucking old school. It was just cool to have sort of like that survival horror on the go. It was a really sort of interesting experience.
Yeah,
But
'cause I've got
Revelations
Revelations.
2,
I just haven't played it.
One of the
I hate
biggest-
Revelations 2.
One of the biggest unsung heroes in the Resident Evil franchise, Outbreak.
Oh, the light shooter, the light gun shooter.
No. That's Resident Evil Outbreak is the one where you have, I think it was like 4 or 5 different characters. They all have different stats and all that. It was the first one. It was on the PlayStation 2, where you co-opt online in a Resident Evil world and fought the zombies, and it was during Resident Evil 2, like that era. You came across fucking Hunk, all that shit, and I love it. It was Outbreak, and then Outbreak Case File 2 or some shit like that. One
Yeah,
of
I see that.
the underrated Resident Evil titles ever. I love those titles
That's
so much.
crazy, because from the looks of it, they've based it sort of off the movie. The
Mm-mm.
movie,
Well,
because
they had like
the-
the virus vials and shit like that, but it was literally off of Resident Evil 2. Like it was kind of like a side shot of or like a one shot from the Resident Evil 2 era. Like this was going on during the Resident Evil 2 time frame when like Birkin was mutating and shit like that.
Yeah, because like this
All
case
that.
looks like a Resident Evil movie. Like I'm sending it in the thing, but
Is it the
Resident
one
Evil
with the
Outbreak.
gun?
Yeah, it looks like a Resident Evil movie case because of the font and
Yeah.
and the fact that it just looks like I can see Mila Jovovich just standing in front of it, just being like, "Fucking, I'm a clone," or some
But-
shit.
So since we've been talking about like all new horror survival or horror survival games in general, mainly Silent Hill and Resident Evil, which, my heart.
I was gonna bring up 2 more, but continue.
I was just saying, like, what are some other ones that we really enjoy, and then also, is there any that are coming out soon? Because I know we just did the Xbox review, and like, is there any new ones that are coming out that any of us are really stoked for?
Coming out that I'm intrigued by is Scorn, even though we know next to fucking nothing. But literally, you and I both saw the trailer, and we were like, done. Yep, here's my money.
H.H. Geiger fucking inspired sexual alien probist plug-in shit eye vaginas.
Bruno, you look like you're just itching to say something.
Oh,
Was it
well-
eye vagina? I bet it was eye vagina.
no. Well, yes.
Bet you never thought you'd hear that sentence in your life. I vagina.
No, I've heard it plenty of times. It's like when iPod first came out. It was like, wow, this is.
Well, no, it's probably the last half of a sentence you hear Harley saying to you. Stay away from my I vagina.
Ah, wow.
And I only hear I vagina, so I'm like, okay. But
straight up Hadouken.
Literally, so, like, Scorn looks cool. I do like the look of it. I already knew a bit about it because
Well, they announced it like what 2-3 years ago, and then we just never heard anything about it again.
I thought Agony was Scorn, and when Agony came out, I was like, oh yeah, this is that game.
Don't bring Agony up. Don't bring Agony up to me, please. Please.
Because I was like, this is the game where you get all like the body parts as weapons and shit. It looks fucking cool. I played it and I was like, this is not the game I was hoping for. This is bullshit.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of bad things about Agony.
Yeah, Agony is pure agony. But the scariest thing that I'm probably looking to is changing the size of your character's junk in Cyberpunk. That's gonna be terrifying.
Dude, I am so stoked for that. I'm gonna have the microest penis in the world.
Yeah, because like the way I think about it is like, so I'm assuming it's probably gonna be male. You change the size of their genitalia. Female, you can change the size of their breast. But I'm like, what if they let you customize like little pinpoints on also the female character, and you've just got this fucking huge camel toe?
Oh my god!
I would be totally down with that.
Or straight up make like your character a futanari with like a female with a penis and just fucking rock it.
So back to the fucking horror games. Jesus Christ.
Oh yeah, sorry. I thought I got very excited for a second there.
I can tell. You might need to check your pants, dude. I will say Scorn's probably the only one I'm actually looking forward to coming out, just because I feel like survival horror isn't being done right lately.
Oh, it's been fun.
Because my favorite survival horror game of all time is Dead Space.
Dead Space is good.
Was that a UG or a yuss?
It was like a yes.
Okay.
Like,
it's funny how Dead Space it followed the Resident Evil formula.
It did, but it took its own, and in my opinion, made it better. But again, I haven't played the originals. But see, what I love about and what I've heard from people that have played like Resident Evil 2 with Mr. X or whatever, or with Nemesis, is like you're fine and dandy. You've got this gun, but then you get the unkillable. All right, you can't kill him. You just got to run. You got to survive. And so all through Dead Space 1, you know, I'm getting jump scared by necromorphs. I'm finally learning, like, hey, here's the vent. All right, watch that shit. All right, I got my plasma cutter. There go your legs, bitch. Haha, you're crippled. Here's a wheelchair. And then I got to the Hunter. Which is the motherfucker, to anybody that hasn't played or who doesn't remember in this call. He's the necromorph who you can cut off his limbs 1,000 times and he just keeps regenerating them and coming after you.
How many times I died trying to figure out how to fucking kill him?
I did too. I was like, what? Do I just have to cut off your head like 3 times? Nintendo rule of 3 here? And no, he just kept coming, and it finally took me forever to realize, I need to fucking run, dude.
Yeah.
And I loved that. Because I was, by then, you know, you've got all these different guns, all these upgrades. You're starting to feel like a boss. You're like, Isaac Clarke has got a big dick. And the Hunter's like, that's cute. And so I love games that have that aspect in it. Alien Isolation wasn't badly done, but it was... To anybody that hasn't already, go check out our review on the channel. We did review it. It overstayed its welcome. You guys were saying that Resident Evil 4 is a long-ass game. Alien Isolation was a long ass game.
It was like I did like Alien Isolation for the first, I think, 6 hours, 6 to 10 hours. It was good, but then it was very much rinse and repeat.
I
There wasn't
loved it
much.
until I got the flamethrower because I loved the haunting feeling of I can't do shit against the xenomorph. I'm being hunted. This is terrifying. I hear those footsteps, and the audio design in that game, like Silent Hill 2, is out of this world. What they did for the xenomorph is
Yeah.
incredible. But once I was
the-
able to fight back, I didn't even try like hiding or sprinting. I just sprint straight at him. I'd blast him in the face with fire and keep running. I was like, I don't give a fuck. By the time I got to
Yeah.
chapter 11, I was like, I think we're almost done. There's 18
Oh.
chapters in that game. I was like, dear God.
Especially if you had the DLCs too, you're in for even more.
Yeah.
I
I haven't played the Evil
favorite,
Within, though.
Evil Within's good. It was sort of like a play tester, really. It was really a test for the gameplay to sort of be brought back because it was very much trying to go for the Resident Evil, 6 gameplay style.
Yep.
But with the horror of something like, an original, like a Silent Hill, honestly. Like the horror in that game with the creature designs and how they look, it's sort of like something that you'd see in
It
Silent
reminded
Hill.
me, since it was Shinji Mikami who actually did the game, it looked like he took Silent Hill and Resident Evil and had a fucked up love child. I mean, hell, the Keeper alone, the dude with the box head,
Right.
Yeah, that's
paper head, that literally screams, Pyramid Head. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, come on,
yeah,
that
exactly.
screams. Like the first time I saw that whole trailer, I was like, the fuck? And then I was like, oh, Evil Within, Shinji Mikami, this all makes sense. So,
Yeah.
I actually am, after we watched the Xbox review. What was that game called? Mindset or
Find Something Infinite, the Japanese game.
oh shit! I literally had it on the tip of my tongue too.
We should have taken better notes. I apologize, guys. But there's a game. A
It was
game
on
does
the,
exist.
yeah, right. Who would have thought a game fucking exists? Hold on a minute, you're fucking up right now. No, it was it's gonna come to me and it's gonna fuck me up because I'm gonna like remember it after we go off air.
I know exactly what it is.
Is Mind Something, and the reason why it stood out to me, and I said this like as we were watching it, I was like, holy shit, that sounds like the Silent Hill score. It's the first thing I said, and then as the credits are going, it's
Yeah.
like produced by the guy that did what's his name, that did the Silent Hill, and I was like, oh fuck. And I watched it, and it seems like such a psychological horror, and that's my thing. Like, if you can get me into a game psychologically and like, fuck, what is going on?
You're talking
If
about The Medium.
there it is, The Medium.
Yeah.
If
Yeah,
I can,
that
like,
looked cool.
Yeah, because like the bitch is in a church, and then it's like raining ash and everything.
and I literally said like 3 fucking times.
Yeah, you're like, this is Silent Hill, this is Silent Hill. And I was like, I don't think it is. And then I heard the score come in, and I agreed with you, because, like, that's another thing that really, like, kind of irks me about playing Silent Hill 2, is, like, that main menu music doesn't sound like horror music at all. It's like a fucking rock out type thing. I'm like, what is this? And then the music started in The Medium, and I was like, okay, this is somehow related to Silent Hill, and it's the original composer from Silent Hill.
And apparently, I keep seeing what's it called? Articles about Silent Hills not being as dead as we think it is.
I keep seeing that too, because there's a rumor that Microsoft is acquiring the IP of Silent Hill, which I think would be fantastic, but that's just a huge rumor. There's no validity to it. But I'm also hearing that Kojima does want to do it, and he just had the issue with Konami. So, like, if Microsoft does acquire it, Kojima will be their bells on.
Because according to what I've read, is that Konami want to do a new Silent Hill game, completely brand. They want to do a new Silent Hill game, completely brand new. Rumor is that they're going to go back and ask Kojima back on for it, and possibly do Silent Hills. But they also want to do the Resident Evil treatment and do some remasters of the original. And to me, I'm like,
I'd be so on board for that, especially since I'm playing the original now. I'm just very curious, because, like, I still have PT on my PS4. Which I am, like, grateful for. I think it's fantastic. That was a great horror experience for 20 minutes.
Yeah, because the
And I
thing about
wanted to
PT
see
is
more.
that it was cool, it was creepy. It didn't. I know it was just a playable teaser to sort of like test out the engine and everything and how it worked, but it didn't feel like a Silent Hills game. It felt very much just like a horror game with a really cool twist to it.
Well, that's why
I
they're
wanted
calling
to
it
see
Silent
more
Hills, not Silent Hill
Silent Hill.
4.
Yeah,
It's
well,
homage and new at the same time, which is what a lot of series need. Like, I would love to see remasters of Silent Hill as I'm playing through them. I would love to see something more Dead Space. Give me either Dead Space 4 or just remaster it.
Good luck.
Can you imagine the fucking necromorphs on goddamn Xbox Project Series X? So, but I mean, Visceral Games is shut down. Yes.
Okay. Because like I want the Series X. I like the new PlayStation controller, but all the shit I've heard about PlayStation is all bad. They're not doing backwards compatibility.
The PlayStation controller, every generation gets closer and closer to copying Xbox.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I thought that this... Sorry, I always have props. But this one, I thought was a good... I was like, yeah, fuck yeah, playing good. And then, when I got my Xbox One, I was like, you can't beat this. This just...
You can't.
Yeah, it's literally the best console controller
hands
ever
down.
made. And now they're making another one that's even going to be better. I was like, oh, shit.
Yeah,
No,
'cause I saw that. They're basically doing the Pro controller, isn't it?
I'll be getting Project Series
Elite?
X day one. I do want a PS5. I'm excited for some of the titles. In regards, we briefly mentioned it earlier, though, on the horror topic. Outlast is another game that blew me away. I always said for a long time Dead Space was the scariest game I had ever played. And then I played Outlast. And just the whole game, you can't fight back.
Yeah, no.
It is true survival horror. Hide or die. And I was like, that's cool as fuck. And just adding the whole like night vision on the camera to where everything's just green, and it was terrifying. I did think the ending kind of sucked. I just enjoyed how maniacal and creepy like these people were. I think bringing in
the Whistleblower DLC too?
Haven't played the Whistleblower DLC yet.
The Whistleblower DLC will help that ending.
Okay, because I was just like, don't bring spirits and entities into this. Like, just keep it creepy, okay? But I am very excited to play the Whistleblower.
I got Outlast 2 day one. That was announced because I was like, fuck yeah. I was like, this is gonna be so cool. I'm so excited. Graphics are better. How you can use everything using the audio to your advantage. You can zoom in and hear things, and then you're like, okay, I've got to sneak my way around. And I was like, this is all cool. Until it was like a spiritual cult. Instead of like, psychos in, the fucking psychologist fucking building. Asylum. Thank you.
The psychologist building.
Which actually was not a bad Disturbed album. Anyways.
Yes. And there was, number 2, you're sort of like going through like, foresty sort of area. It honestly reminded me of Resident Evil 4. No, not even, well, a little bit of Blair Witch, but the sort of scenery was very much like Resident Evil 4 with the towns and stuff.
Yep.
And the main chick who's following you, who's chasing you around, she just got really annoying to me. She's holding like this big totem staff, and she's like squealing like a fucking like a wraith, and I couldn't get away from her at one point. And then I just sort of sat there and I'm like, I don't like this, really. I don't like this as much as Outlast 1. I don't know where they went wrong, but
I mean, that's a huge problem these days with sequels, though. Very rarely does a sequel do better than the original. Halo 2, Gears of War 2, exceptions. But it's hard. A lot of them turn out to be cash grabs, because Outlast was an indie game. It wasn't a AAA production. Wasn't supposed to blow up the way that it did. And then they're like, oh, fuck, people liked it. Let's make another one. Yeah. But speaking of Blair Witch, Doom just played and beat.
Yeah, beat.
Yeah.
Any good?
I mean, we're talking about horror games.
It's really good. Like, my thing is, and it's the same thing.
Here's the real question. I was not a fan of the movie. Would I enjoy the game?
Yes.
Okay.
The original movie?
Wait, you talking about the original or the remake that they just did like 2 years
ago?
No,
the original. I didn't bother with the remake. Like, I saw the original.
The original is... Because once you know that the original is not based on reality, it's all fiction, it immediately loses its horror. It falls apart. Like, that very end, I'm like, oh, it's what you don't see that's scary. And I'm like, yeah, but again, the whole appeal was that it's, this is supposed to be real found footage, but then it just kept happening. It was like when Paranormal Activity came out, the first one, it was terrifying because it was something that could have been believable.
I thought
the
Paranormal
way
Activity
that it was
2 was
filmed.
scarier than 1.
Yes.
I thought 2 was trash because how many times do we need to see that pool? It did nothing apart from when the fucking underground Hoover, the water Hoover, shot out. And
I
I'm
thought
like, man,
1
why
was
is this
pretty
so bad?
lame. But like 2, when like the bitch is just standing in the background in the kitchen while her husband's on the couch, and then the next scene she's just instantly there breaking his neck. I was like,
I mean, that was a cool scene. That was a cool scene. It was just everything else leading up to it was crap.
but let's be honest,
Paranormal
Paranormal Activity as a series is pretty shitty.
It is after 3 because I liked 3, but then they brought in the whole cult. and
3's the
whole
one with the
witches
creepy
and stuff.
grandparents, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
God damn,
Yeah.
dude, that one. I watched that one and I had to watch George Carlin after because I was like, that was actually kind of creepy.
So
Yeah, at the very end where she snaps his back and he folds
Poor Doom.
completely
Yes.
backwards. And I'm
Yes.
like, oh, my spine.
Straight up. So going back a second, I just want to show my age that I actually saw Blair Witch, the original in theaters as a child. Just want to say that
Fuck, you're old.
I laughed at it as a child. Just want to go out
Yeah.
there.
I saw Blair Witch the first time, I want to say 2015. Like, I didn't get to see it
Yeah,
in my
I was
youth.
about the
Missed that
same.
boat. You missed those boats.
Yeah, I did.
But,
Like, I had
yeah.
always heard about it, and so I was like, I've got to watch it as a horror fan. just for the notoriety of the film, I have to at least see it.
Exactly. Like, I'm a horror.
And as I was watching it, I was just like, really?
That's exactly what happened to
Really?
me. Like, I'm a huge horror fan. I love horror. For me, J horror specifically is really good. I love, a lot of that.
There's a
Blackwater,
few-
The Grudge, The Ring.
Yes. There's a few
Ring's
Japanese
creepy as
horrors that I want to see. There's a few Japanese horrors that I want to see that I haven't seen yet, and it's just like, fuck.
I haven't
'cause
seen The New Grudge or Rings.
The New Grudge sucks. Ring sucks. The American remakes. Like, I'm talking about the original Japanese ones because
Yeah.
Ringu, fantastic. Ringu 2, really good. And then there's Ring O, which is also good.
Ringo
Ju-on
Starr?
1 is yes. Ju-on 1 is good. Ju-on 2 was okay. The American remakes of The Grudge 1 and Grudge 2 are actually really good because The Grudge 1 is sort of a soft remake, and then The Grudge 2 is a completely separate story, and it was done really well. And then I also recommend Blackwater or Darkwater, I'm pretty sure it's called. Really creepy. Audition is really good. That's more like a torture porn type sort of
Yes,
movie,
I
but
heard
really, really
so
good.
Well, I mean, I love Saw, so.
I've heard so
And then
many
there's
stories of the audition.
There's this other Japanese horror movie. I can't remember what it's called, but it's about like an actress and she's like amateur and she gets into this movie set, but it's all haunted. I forgot what it's called, but it's a good J horror movie. But I'm just gonna quickly tell you about the Japanese Grudge 2, because I'm gonna spoil the ending.
I'm never gonna
because-
watch it because it's not in American English. I
I know.
even my animes have to be dubbed. I know.
Yeah.
Go ahead and
The
lynch me,
dubbing
comment
of the
section.
Japanese, the dub of the Japanese Grudge 2, awful. It's straight up like the "Where did he go?" Where they all sound like that. But yeah, at the very end, you think the Grudge is over, you think it's all done, and everything's safe. Never is because it's Koyoko. She's gonna get you regardless. And this girl, and she's in the hospital, and she's pregnant. And she's like, I'm finally having my baby. It's been a long time. I'm gonna have my baby. Then the lights flicker and everything goes crazy, and she's like, what's going on? And then from the left, she looks, and the kid's there and goes, "Meow." And it's like, what? The Grudge starts coming out of her, crawling out of her. Oh, it freaked me out so much because the way it doesn't look fake. It doesn't look like something popping out of this bottle in a weird sort of like little Nicky into a flask. It didn't look like that. It looked like she was being like sort of wound
Ripped
open
apart.
and then she was crawling out, and she's like crawling out like the whole that and hits the ground. Then she like turns her head and she's like, it's like, oh god. But it's really good.
Yeah, see,
Damn,
that sounds
really good.
That sounds metal as fuck.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
gonna check
really
that out.
yeah, really good. A lot of J horror I love, but yeah, being a horror fan, when I first saw the Blair Witch, I was like, this isn't really that good. And I actually, it's probably bad for me to say this, but as much trauma as Reagan from The Exorcist caused me as a kid with internet jump scares and stuff, when I finally watched The Exorcist, I was like, yeah, it's kind of tame. Like, I mean, it is a movie from the 70s. I understand that there was basically the whole cast was cursed and the set was
Yep.
cursed because, just dealing with dark stuff like that. But just, I was watching it and I'm like, it's eerie for sure. It makes me feel uncomfortable. But at the end of it, it didn't last on me. I went to sleep fine that night. I wasn't like, Megan's gonna get me or anything.
Exorcist
I
did
was
not leave a
okay.
lasting impression on me.
Mm.
But again, I didn't watch it as a youth. I didn't watch it when it came out. I watched it in like 2010. So I respect it for what it is and what it did for horror.
Exactly.
But like
That's how I am.
the masturbating with the crucifix was
Oh.
kind of creepy.
Yeah.
And then the
Me.
pea soup scene.
Fuck me.
And what is it? Oh, when she turns around, she's like, "Do you know what she did, your cunting daughter?" And it's just like,
Yes.
ooh, it's just really
Yeah.
like, okay, that's an
See-
awful line.
But it
So
was
my-
like 2.5 hours of nothing for like 35 seconds of okay.
Oh
See, I-
shit, yeah.
To me though, I think the lead up, so the reason why like I love The Exorcist so fucking much, besides me just loving that shit in general, is the build up. The build up to that particular moment of when all the shit's going on, because like they take her to the hospital, they're trying to check her out, see what the fuck's wrong with her. They think she has, I forgot whatever it was.
They
And
said it was
all
literally some sort of anxiety disorder or something, wasn't
yeah,
it?
and they're trying to figure out what the fuck's going on, and all this shit's happening, and you're like, okay, it's about to get real.
It's like, I have anxiety. This ain't happening to me.
Hey, whatever you have is not what I have. What the fuck?
I'll have what she's having.
That's why because like I enjoy possession movies or Antichrist and all that. Like I'm not saying The Exorcist was bad. I saw it and it was very dated. Like The Omen, good.
Talking about the original or the remake?
I still haven't seen the original yet. I own it. I've seen the remake. I thought the remake was also pretty well done.
Honestly,
The
the
remake
remake
was-
is literally the exact same fucking movie. Like literally
It
the
is.
exact same
Shot
fucking
for shot. It was like the recent Pet Cemetery, but the
Which
recent
I
Pet
had
Sematary
also
was
both
dumb.
bought both of because I've never seen either.
Yeah, I have to watch those actually. That's.
But I would
I still wanna see
actually
Lighthouse
The
too,
original's
that's the other
better.
point.
I want to see Lighthouse as well.
Yeah, I want to watch Lighthouse.
One
But,
of my favorite horror films.
we're talking about horror games,
is-
some horror.
Oh.
If we're gonna be on that again,
We've only got like 5 minutes left. I'm trying to wrap it.
okay,
Go
well,
on.
I'll say mine. Amnesia, The Dark Descent.
Yeah, I haven't
Really
played
good.
it. It's on my list. It'll probably be what I do for Freaky Friday. Wolf and I started like a co-stream thing of it like 2 years ago. Got 30 minutes in and just finished it.
Yeah, because it's really good for the atmosphere of it. My growing up with the game, because it was one of those sort of first horror games I played to sort of break my virginity seal. It was a lot of those custom stories that you could download. You could download custom stories that people made because they'd be shorter experiences. You get all the scares in a shorter time, so you don't have to feel the build up. Because I was a very impatient kid, and I loved it. And then when I started YouTube properly in 2012, I got Amnesia: A Machine for Pigs, the sequel, which is far not good.
A great fucking name, may I add. A great fucking name.
Yeah, a machine for pigs. It's brilliant. But the game itself was very much like it was trying to do everything that Amnesia 1 did, but not good because it was two different companies. It was two different companies. The first one was Frictional Games, and then the second one was done by some other company. Because I think Frictional Games were going to start working on a new patent, which then became Somniac. Whatever that one that was like in space or whatnot.
I don't remember.
Oh, Soma. Pretty
Yeah,
sure it's called Soma.
yeah.
Oh, yeah,
I know
okay.
Soma. I haven't played it
Yeah.
yet. I want to though. Heard great things about it.
Yeah,
Yep, same.
but yeah, because they wanted to do Soma, they basically were like, all right, we're not going to do another.
There's another
Amnesia.
game that just came out from the maker of Emily Wants to Play. I can't remember the title of it. It starts with like a P. It's got the scary ghost bitch with like an X over her mouth. It looks fantastic. I watched the trailer on stream, and literally all the Silent Hill people were there, and they're like, "Get it, do it now." Oh, okay. Unfortunately, can't remember the name of it right now. It's on my Steam wish list. But all right. So real quick to wrap it up, your favorite horror game of all time, and let's do something interesting. A horror movie that you've heard about a lot, but you've actually never seen.
Okay, so horror game that we like, our favorite horror game, and a horror movie that we've heard a lot about but never seen.
Yes.
Okay.
I gotta think
All
about
right.
this one.
Dead Space
Um,
and Hellraiser.
Oh yeah, Hellraiser. That's
I
another
hear
one.
about Pinhead all the time. Never seen Hellraiser.
Yeah.
And it was on Netflix for a while, and then they took it down. So
Yeah.
For a horror game, that's my favorite because the thing is, like, I love horror games, but there's never been a definitive horror game apart from something like Silent Hill, that I could really call my favorite. And I don't want to say Silent Hill because I feel like that's a cop out, but I think I'm
Same.
gonna have to say, I think I'm gonna have to say Silent Hill 1 because I can't think of anything else. Like Amnesia
How about
wasn't
this?
good enough for me.
How about this? I'll make a deal with you because the Silent Hill franchise and the Resident Evil franchise are something that we both extremely enjoy. Let's think of a new age, this generation game that horror wise that we like.
Okay, all right. Let me just sort of because take it off the top of my head. It's a
Dead
pain in the
Space came out
ass.
2010. So let's go 2010 forward.
Yeah,
Well,
2010 forwards.
I'm thinking about just even because Dead Space is clearly on my list as well, and I feel like that's a cop out. I'm trying to think of something that is more recent that we're like the last time you played a horror game that wasn't like a remake or something. He's like, damn, that was pretty fucking good. Like one that sticks out that you remember.
Okay. Oh, I don't know if that's too recent. Because it's 2004. I'm pretty sure. The one I'm thinking of.
Just hit me.
Fatal Frame 2.
Ooh, okay.
Fatal Frame 2 got me with the whole camera system and having to take photos of these creatures.
I heard about that, and I watch Mojo again.
Yeah,
guys, if you enjoy anything in life, don't watch Mojo. They will spoil all of it. Okay.
Unless you're okay with getting shit spoiled.
And let me tell you, they're the best ones to spoil it for you. Their videos are addicting as shit. Not sponsored, but
But yeah, definitely for me, Fatal Frame 2. It just creeped me out a lot. The atmosphere is very good. It's another great J horror game, like Resident Evil or Silent Hill. I really like that. And for a horror movie that I haven't seen yet, but I want to see, there's a lot that I can think of. But just off the top of my head, Hereditary. Really want to watch that.
You need to
just go watch the last 10 minutes, dude.
No, don't shut the fuck up, freak. No one asked you. You're not a horror fan.
I was gonna go watch it.
I am a horror fan. Excuse the fuck out of you.
Not like me.
We like different things.
No, you like Friday the 13th more than something. Doom, you'd be more like my alley.
Yeah.
With horror movies, you like more like you'd probably prefer J horror over something like a slasher flick.
Now, I will say, since you haven't seen it, but Doom has, in the end, the shit with the piano wire.
Yes.
That was creepy as fuck, dude.
Yes. So fucking good. You need to see it.
No, that's why I was saying, like, go see the last 10 minutes. Go watch the movie. I mean, it's really not that bad. The last 10 minutes were fantastic, but it is more of a slow burn than...
That's right, I like slow burns.
Yeah.
And if you like that, go see Midsommar as well. That movie got a lot of shit. I love that fucking movie. It's not as good as Hereditary, but it is still fucking awesome. It's by Ari Aster, the same guy that did Hereditary. So if you like that style and all that, it's so fucking good. Highly recommend both those flicks to watch. Just same thing. The last 10 minutes of Hereditary and the last, I want to say, 30 minutes of Midsommar. I'll even go last 40 minutes of Midsommar because it's like a 2.5-hour movie or 2-hour movie plus. You're just like, hold on, what the fuck?
Yeah, Hereditary went 0 to 100 real fucking quick, dude.
Yeah. And the thing with Hereditary, and I'm not going to spoil nothing, Hereditary, it's like, it keeps giving you little teases. You're like, oh, okay. Wait, what? Oh, hold on. The fuck?
Yeah.
It keeps pulling you back in. It gives you like a little piece of the carrot and then pulls it away from you. Little piece of the carrot and then pulls it away from you.
Okay.
All right, so Doom, what's your answers?
So for me, so I had a different answer, but when it comes to games, I'm gonna pick two, and there's a reason why. One's gonna be an old school game that we haven't mentioned, and it just kind of dawned on me. I want to say recently, Parasite Eve. Who remembers Parasite Eve?
I don't.
It rings a bell, but I don't think I've ever played it or seen anything of it.
So basically,
I've also yet to play Slenderman.
You're not missing much.
Shit game. You're not missing anything.
Yeah.
Truly.
literally Parasite Eve was on the original PlayStation. They came out, I think, with one on the PS2, early PS2. I could be wrong on that, but I know for a fact there was two on the PS1. Long story short, it was during the hype of horror survival came up. Very Japanese-esque game. Highly recommend people looking into it. Old school game. I remember playing it right after I played the first Silent Hill. It was right in that time frame. So highly recommend that one. As for newer games, one that still sticks out to me, and I'm trying to remember the name. It's not Dying Light. It's what's the one where they're all in the cabin in the woods, and you pick and choose.
Until Dawn?
Yes, Until Dawn. I always, for some reason, I want to call it Dying Light, but Until Dawn.
Dying Light's a great game.
Yeah, it is, but that's not the one I was thinking of. But Until Dawn.
I haven't played it yet, and
dude, you need to.
I really want to. Lex keeps demanding I play it. Everybody else in the circus is like, "Yo, shit's pretty great." And I heard that same makers of Man of Medan, and they're now doing an anthology. So I want to do Until Dawn very soon.
So my thing is, the reason why I say Until Dawn is because it's, you pick and choose what the fuck is gonna happen. Your choices directly impact your story, and I think they said it was like 220 something different outcomes of the game.
There's a lot, but the thing is that with those outcomes, they all sort of verge to us like a similar sort of ending. But obviously, there's a lot of things that change throughout the decisions that you made.
I remember the trailer for that game coming out when we worked at GameStop. They were like, "Do you remember sitting in a movie theater yelling at the people in the horror game? Now's your fucking chance." And I was like, "Bullshit." And then, lo and behold, they did it.
But I highly recommend that. Highly recommend that because we actually, Laura and I just watched. She watches a makeup tutorial girl, and she does like horror makeup too. And her and her boyfriend. No, it wasn't Nikki Tutorials. It was another one. She's really cute. Does horror makeup. Long story short, they were playing Until Dawn, or the boyfriend was, while she was doing the creature makeup of the game. I don't want to spoil it for Freak.
Yeah.
So she was doing the creature makeup and became that creature as she played the game. I was like, yo, that's fucking badass. And it was just, it's like, yeah, that game was really fucking iconic to me in like the recent horror survival, even though it's more like cinematic horror, I guess, if you want to call it that. But
yeah, it was good.
And so a movie that you have heard about but have not seen in terms of horror. And it can't be like some off-the-shelf one, a relatively well-known one.
Like
Hellraiser
I said, that's going to be tough because there's not too many I haven't seen, unless we're going into the J-horror stuff. I'm trying to think, and like really nothing's coming to mind. Like every time I hear about a really crazy... What was that?
Ringu.
That one. There you go. I'll go with Ringu. But my thing is like, every time I hear about a really good horror movie, especially a United States-made one, not necessarily a J-horror or a K-horror or whatever, I tend to watch them relatively quickly. So I hate to be a cop-out on that. Like, I've seen a lot of horror fucking movies.
Okay, fine. Well, would you recommend Hellraiser then?
Yes, only because of how fucking campy and brutal it is.
Yeah.
Dude, I love the fucking classic slashers. I'm totally fine with campy and brutal.
It's literally... Alright, so Pinhead is like... He has so many fucking... Not going to say so many, but like the one-liners he has in that movie, I'm like the whole franchise, you're just like... That is so fucking cheesy, but that is so fucking awesome!
No, see, I used to be just hardcore 100% Friday the 13th is the best ever, and I had not seen Halloween. I watched all 10 Halloweens for the first time ever 2 years ago. And now I'm just like, fuck, Michael Myers is just absolutely incredible.
Yes.
I am going to, before we quickly kick off, I'm going to say that there is a horror movie that's not known as a horror movie, but to me it's an underrated horror movie. And maybe it was because when I saw it I was young, but literally, the first Terminator. The first Terminator. The fucking, like, when the T-800 is chasing Sarah Connor at the very end and he's all ectoskeleton and shit, endoskeleton, just chasing around, terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. And I don't know, like, I even watched it again recently. It could be because of the stop motion animation that they did for it. Just really well done, and it scared the hell out of me.
Oh, you know what? Scratch that. I lied. I just thought of one just now.
Mm.
It's called Zombie. Zombie 2
Oh,
by
the,
Lucy Ferrucci or something like that.
yeah, because it was getting confused with the George Romero films back in the day.
Yes, and I literally just thought about it now because I know about it, and I still haven't watched it.
ZOMBI, and then it was changed to Zombie 2 over here because there was already a zombie out here or something. Because it
Yep,
was George
and
Romero's Zombie, and then we had Zombie 2, which had nothing to do with the George Romero's work.
yep, and honestly, and if anyone's a horror fan, you've seen the iconic zombie face with the maggots coming out of his face and shit like that. You've seen the picture, but a lot of people's like,
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck that's from. It's from that movie, and I just
Mhm.
clicked to me. I still haven't seen Zombie or Zombie 2.
Well, there you guys
Yeah,
have it.
oh.
We've unintentionally talked about horror for an hour and 6 minutes when we were supposed to talk about serial killers. So,
But on the next one,
yeah, on the next one, and also we'll probably talk about horror a whole lot more in the podcast in the future because all three of us are very big horror fans. Especially as more games come out, more movies come out. I want to do more reviews. Like, I would love to review the 2018 Halloween that I just watched finally. Writing scripts takes forever.
Yeah,
Honestly,
I suck at writing script.
you know what we could do? You know what we really could do?
Hmm.
We could do a full-on watch party here and give commentary while we watch it together through our PCs.
There's a YouTuber series that I watch called That's About It, I think they're called, and they just do commentaries while watching the movies, and they just cut it down to the best and funniest bits, and they fucking slay me because they just talk shit throughout the entire movie. If we should do a watch party where we record it and just have fun.
I agree. With
Now, would
beer.
we do
I'd
just straight up
honestly-
like this with our cameras and nothing else, or would we actually put the movie on screen as well?
So we'd have to probably hit play at the same time and watch it together, sort of like time it.
Right, but I'm
because
talking
if
about
we
for
do
the
it
actual
with-
like YouTube edit because people are going to be curious what we're watching that we're talking.
Yeah,
shit about.
so what's gonna happen is that honestly, I'd be happy to do the editing for that because that would be easier shit for me to do. And yeah, we literally we'll just watch it. We'll have our face cam sort of jump in every now and then for certain commentary pieces. So what I would probably do is like, yeah, just record the screen and then I'd have like the movie up on my TV or something. And would be like watching it and just chatting shit. I feel like that would be really fun to do.
So the viewers aren't going to see the film at all.
They will, because
But you just said it's going to be on your TV.
I'll put it in the edit. I'll put it on Premiere Pro.
Oh, that's fine. That sounds like a project for Chrono because that's a lot of fucking editing for me.
That sounds fun
It's
as shit.
not.
Just
I
all right.
have
Let me know. I
shared
mean, we can figure it out because if we want to do something like synced up, hey, hit play in 3, 2, 1. We got to find something that either all of us own on DVD or Blu-ray, and/or Netflix or Hulu.
I said we could easily do something on Netflix. I feel like that's very easily accessible. You just go to a certain timestamp, start, boom, 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 boom.
It is, but they took off a lot of the good actual like horror films.
They did.
Well, on that note, let's end this podcast so we can talk about this together.
Yeah! All right, so don't forget, guys, leave
Yay!
a like, comment, subscribe. We're almost up to 1,000 subscribers. Down below, we have links to the Twitch channels, the Twitter, merch store, all that good jazz. Both these fine gentlemen are flipping off their cameras. And we will see you guys in 2 weeks with a very special episode. Stay freaky.